Hey everybody! Welcome to another edition of In Love With. I'm Sari Cohen and I'm your host for the day. Joining me shortly is the very lovely Talia Jackson. Now, Talia stars on Netflix's Family Reunion. She is a very talented musician and she is a super awesome person. So I am very excited to get this conversation started. I see there's people. Hi! So feel free, jump in, ask questions, comments. Oh, Talia, hi! All right, we are about to get the show going. Almost. We're connecting.
Is it there?
Hey,
Hi.
here you are.
Hello.
How's it going over there?
It is going well. Things are good. Things are
Good.
finally kind of slowing down in my life. It got really fast for a second.
Oh my gosh. I want to jump right into the show
Yeah.
and for this incredible cast that you're working with. Let's start there. Tell me about what it's been like working with them, the whole experience and being on set. Like what has that been like for you?
Yeah, it's even from the beginning. I remember when I actually booked the role, we didn't know who was playing anybody other than I knew some of the kids who had possibly got it just because I was in the room with them and I knew kind of, who had the favor of the director and who they were liking. And I didn't know who was gonna play my parents or my grandparents until we were actually doing our it was like a little class, not like a class, but it was the kids, people who play the kids on the show.
Mhm.
We all had a little practice run thing. So we had a week where we got to work together every day and just get to know each other while the sets were getting built and everything, just so that we had good chemistry. Because some of the kids hadn't really worked before in the industry, and so they just wanted to make sure they were comfortable and that we would be able to just jump right in.
Mhm.
And then when I found out it was going to be Tia Mowry and Anthony and Loretta and Richard, it was incredible. We all kind of met them at different times because they came in a little bit after us, but instantly we all had a lot of chemistry and we all really felt connected and just like a family almost. And we still all just get along so well, which I think is really kind of rare, but I'm so thankful that we all just get each other, and it makes being on set and working so much easier and fun. And it's I just go to set every day to hang out with my friends and the people I care about. So it's a great experience. I couldn't ask for anything better.
It's so cool. You could see the chemistry. You could totally see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and we do well, for the beginning of quarantine. Sorry, you guys can hear me all right, right?
Hmm.
Okay. For the beginning of quarantine, because we had just gotten put on hiatus because of COVID and everything.
Yeah.
And we had already finished 4 episodes for season 2, but we wanted to, keep in touch with everybody and make sure we were all still in a groove. So we were all doing Zoom calls every week for at least a couple months, 2 months, until, and we realized it was going to be a lot longer until we went back to work. And we still
Mhm.
talk and everything, but we're not doing the Zoom calls because they're trying to, just figure out where things are going to go and
Yeah.
how we're all going to get back on set and what the new precautions are going to be. And there's obviously going to be a change. There already was a change during the last episode that we shot with no more crafty. Everything was packaged. And, you had to somebody had to serve you the food. Somebody had to give you the forks. Couldn't just do anything. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I know everybody is super excited to see what's next. All the fans want more, and it's definitely a hard place to be right now for all of us in the industry.
Yeah, it's different because I think everybody outside of the industry is kind of somewhat falling back into their regular life again, which might not be the best thing since this thing doesn't seem like it's going away anytime soon.
Yep.
Um, but for the industry, we're all kind of stuck at a pause, just waiting for our careers to start up again.
To pick back up, I do want to get into your music now because you're releasing new music, so fans have that to look forward to.
Too. I also, I guess, had that to look forward to as well. I've been working on that throughout quarantine, and I'm actually really excited to release this EP. Just because I think I've had so much time to really get in touch with myself and like the type of music I want to make and the type of artist I want to be throughout this quarantine. So this EP and these songs are going to be a real representation of me as an artist in the singing aspect, obviously.
Oh my gosh. What else can you tell me about it?
I can tell. Well, okay. So I originally wanted to. Was just gonna release singles, just because I don't know. I did release two singles previously, just because I wanted people to kind of realize I would wanted to pursue singing as a career as well. So I just did two singles. I do actually like those two songs, which is 5-5 and Complicated, but they're just not necessarily where I want to continue as an artist. I mean, obviously, it takes time to really find your sound and where you're comfortable and where you picture your career. Um, and now I think I'm like finally there, and it's really exciting, and it makes me like I'm really looking forward to putting it out and just seeing how people respond to this, because I don't really think people expected me to go in this direction. I'm going in more of an alternative pop rock direction. So I think it's going to be really cool, and I think it's a little different, but at the same time, I know a lot of people will be able to like, it'll like catch their ear. It's not something too out of the box where people are like, not really for me type thing. But yeah,
That's
but,
so awesome.
and it's been good to just like have that to work on throughout all this. So I've stayed
Oh,
focused.
for sure, for sure. Who are your musical influences?
Musical influences, Lana Del Rey,
Mm.
for sure. She's been an influence of mine since I was like 10. Um, and it kind of, she almost like influenced more the style of music I want to sing, because I kind of had like not forgotten about her, but she just wasn't like somebody I listened to too often, like very recently. And then now I'm kind of like, because I am making more that style of music, I've fallen back into like loving her music. And I would say Marina and the Diamonds, she
Ooh.
really influenced me growing up. Um, I just love like, I think she has a very like magical sound to her music, where it's very like pop, but also it has something so like glittery and like special to it. I don't know how to explain it. Um, and her is a huge influence.
Hmm.
And I would say SZA. Oh, SZA is a huge, yeah. SZA has really influenced me within the last couple of years. Love her sound, and I just love her image. I think she has such a cool like vibe to her, and she really knows like herself, or at least it looks like she does.
Totally. Oh,
Yeah,
totally. It's hard not to love her.
it's hard not to love her.
Yeah. So, what has it been like for you doing music at home now?
Been almost better for me, because I've gotten to do it alone, almost alone. Obviously, I have a producer who sends me tracks, and we work on that over FaceTime, Zoom, and whatnot. And the I think the process for me now has like allowed me to get more in touch with like the type of, that's my brother in the background.
Oh, tell him hi.
um, but it's allowed me to like really almost dig deeper and find deeper lyrics, and use stories that have affected me in my life, and just take real life experiences. And it's also been kind of like an emotional release for me at the same time, because when you're writing music, obviously, if you're writing music about someone or just about a situation, it's kind of like your own little therapy session. You're like getting it out, not only getting it out, writing it down and singing it, but you're also getting it out for everybody else to hear. And I hope that, people who have been through heartbreak or, anything that relates to my songs, it also will be kind of like a release, because I know how it is when you listen to a song and it like just explains like the exact scenario you're going through. It's like, oh my god, yes, like this is like something for me to just be able to like vent every single time I sing it, and like it just feels like somebody else like understands and you're not alone. So I think that's like my biggest hope, is that listening to my music, the newer music I'm about to release, people can, feel like it's almost like an escape for them to get out what they kept inside, in a sense.
Yeah. So can I ask you, what is your process when you're going through this?
Process. It's not, well, okay, so my process is I have a producer. I have a couple of producers, but the one I've worked with the most, his name is Sean, and he's an amazing artist himself, and he's actually a really good friend of mine, and actually he's a really good friend of our whole family. And he will send me tracks because he really knows like where I'm headed with my career and where I want to keep my sound. And God, let's think of, I've actually written, I've written while I was like tanning on my roof before. I just like put my speaker up there and like just replayed and replayed and replayed the track he sent me. Obviously, there's no lyrics to it, and I just wrote. And then the song "Piece of Me," that's the name of one of my songs that I'm going to be releasing. I actually wrote that at Sean's like studio house thing. With him, and it was like right after, not like a heartbreak, but like just kind of like something that really like took a hold of me. And so I was in like a very emotional place, and I was really upset, and he understood the situation as well, because he's a good friend of mine and I talked to him about it. And so we sat down and he had the track and he wrote it all in one night, just sitting there. I've actually written all my stuff in one night, kind of. Yeah. And so I just like sat there and we wrote it, and we didn't record it that night. But I remember when I was writing it, it was like just so like, it made me like have like a state of like peace, I guess, because I was finally like just getting it all out. And that song means a lot to me because I'm no longer in that headspace that I was then. But listening to it, it's like I like just like realizing my growth in a sense, and like that I'm out of that I'm kind of out of it. um, but yeah, I've usually when I write, when I'm like really really ready to just write something and I am in love with a track, I usually just do it in like one night, because I don't know, I feel like I just have to get it all out in the most natural way, and not doing that is like doing it all in one night is like the easiest, I guess, because it's all like raw, real emotions. And also writing when you're sad or upset or angry at someone or confused is like the best, because not only is it getting all of that out, but it also has really like raw emotions in it, and everything feels real and feels like you're telling a story because you are.
Totally. Totally. Well, and I feel like everybody's going to be able to relate to that. I know there's so many girls out there who I'm sure are just going to be like, oh, thank you for speaking for all of us.
Yeah. At some point in everyone's life, I think they've all experienced some type of hurt. Um, and music helps with that. And I hope my music helps with that. So
Definitely. So, how are you staying busy at this time? How are you staying creative?
staying creative through my music, and I have done a couple auditions. Not too many have come in just because they don't really know when production's going to get back. Um, and just staying in contact with my friends, and trying to stay in a positive mindset. I've gone to protests, um, And that for a while had really taken up all of my attention, and just, being an activist and going out and trying to do something that was taking up a lot of my like creative energy. And so I didn't really write during the time. And just, I don't know, like self-care and stuff like that, just exploring. I've been driving around a lot, and these past couple of months I have seen more of LA than I've like ever seen. I don't even get out of the car, but I like drive at night just because it feels like there's something to do. I like roll all the windows down and just drive around LA, and I've seen like places I just did not know existed. I've seen towns I didn't know. I didn't know, what's that place called? I can't even remember it. It's like past Silver Lake. Like I didn't know it existed until I went there. Oh, Boyd Park or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of places I've just like recently been to, and then like I'm always like marking it down. I'm like, oh, I want to go there when like Corona's done.
Mm-hmm.
My best friend just commented, yes, we've gone to Ear One a lot to eat. Only place I want to eat at, because I don't want to like go in a restaurant. I'm so scared. So
I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
yeah,
Yeah, my birthday is next week, and I'm like, I think I'm staying home.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
yeah. I know. My birthday's in August, and so I'm like trying to plan something to do, but I don't know if this will be safe. I'm like, I don't know. I'll just see what happens.
I know.
Highland Park. It's Highland Park. I didn't know existed.
Oh, Highland Park. Oh, yeah.
Or like knew it existed. I just never been there. I'd never seen it. And then I got lost one day with my brother, and we just ended up at Highland Park, and I got to finally see what Highland Park was.
It's amazing how that happened. Happy accidents. Happy
Yeah.
accidents. Yeah. So, and I do want to ask you, because you are an activist and you have been protesting, what does the Black Lives Matter movement mean to you?
Um, I think it means everything. It's not even like, to me, it shouldn't even ever have to be a movement, which I think is what's kind of upsetting is about all of it, is that like I don't think we should have ever had to sit here and be in the streets fighting and chanting Black Lives Matter like people just forgot it did. Like I don't know. And then at the same time, I think it's like just so important that we still are doing this, because I think a lot of people had forgotten that these issues were happening to African Americans and people of color, and I do not want people to forget that they're happening, because that's just what has happened throughout hundreds of years. People, fought until they got tired, and then if it didn't affect them directly, they're just like, on to the next, they'll deal with that. And that can't continue to happen. And I think this generation is going to make sure it doesn't happen like that, because obviously we are going to be the generation that will, live the longest through all of this, in a sense. Just and I think we'll have the power to really make sure this isn't a trend, or it doesn't just disappear, because it's not a trend. It never has been. So confusing and upsetting that we have to even sit out here and say, hey, I matter. Can you guys remember that? Because like it just is like human rights. Like I don't know, it doesn't make sense that we're still out here having to like prove to people we should matter and shouldn't be murdered in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. What can everyone do? I mean, if people who are watching right now, if there's anywhere that you want to direct them or tell them how they can be active, and what they can do from where they are, wherever they are in the world.
I would say the first thing to do is just don't stop. I know some people obviously don't want to go out and protest because of COVID, or they just feel uncomfortable going out. That's okay. I understand that, but you have to continue to push the envelope and make sure that this is not a trend, and that people are still realizing this. Post stories, even if it's just in your community, talk to your neighbors. I have a lot of friends, not unfortunately, but I have friends who whose parents don't necessarily believe in any of this, and are kind of against the Black Lives Matter movement, and I think I've seen a lot of people on social media going against their parents and the way that they were raised, and even just by educating your own family, educating your neighbors, your community, whoever, your friends. And that's like, that's doing something. You just have to do something. Donate, just be supportive, be an ally. If you see something happening that you don't think is right, stand up, say something about it, because we need you to say something about it. Because, I mean, my father, obviously being African American, he doesn't feel like he can say certain things because he does fear for his life. He doesn't feel like if a cop pulls him over for, you know, something that isn't logical, he doesn't feel like he should bring that up because he's scared of what the consequences are. What we need is people who don't have to be terrified to speak up and fight for themselves, to also fight with us, because that's how we become a collective voice, and then there's just no way we can't be heard. So
100%. I'm with you 110%. That was, yeah.
continue the fight. That's my
Continue the fight. Absolutely. Is there anything else you want to add? I know we have lots of people chiming in. You have tons of fans on here who are all showing their love. I guess before we conclude, is if there's anything else you have to say.
don't really have anything else I have to say. Anything else you want to ask me?
We had, but do you speak French? That question has come up a lot.
I don't speak French. Actually, well, no, I do not. I don't know why I question. I don't speak French. I really wish I did. I lived in France for like literally just a couple of weeks when I was like young, because we went on like a European vacation, and we just lived there for a little, and it was the most beautiful place I have ever like experienced. I can't wait to go there again as an adult, and really like get to experience the culture and everything. But I really wish I did speak French. I feel like that'd be so cool. I can say like je t'aime, and I'm pretty sure I butchered that as well. So
That was
sorry.
great. It's funny, we've had a lot of several comments where I've seen, do you speak French? Favorite song? That's the last one we'll get to. I see one favorite song.
Right now, oh, Feel Something by B. Miller. That is my favorite song right now. Oh, and if you load and reverb, they have it on like SoundCloud. It's phenomenal. It's so good. It just like expresses everything. I don't know. I don't know. I tried. I like showed it to somebody last night. So I was trying to like convince them that it was like a good song. I was like, please just listen to the song, please. Like, you're gonna love it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, I have so enjoyed our time together, Talia. It's been so great getting to know you.
As well. It's fun.
Yeah, do you come back and join us again?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's such a pleasure. All right, we'll talk to you soon then.
Perfect. Bye, guys.
Bye. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today, you guys. Make sure you come back on Wednesday and Friday. Our wonderful editor-in-chief, Elena, will be back at the helm. It's 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. In Love with. We'll see you next time.